And welcome to another edition of South Texas Crossfire. This is Attorney Joe Flores reminding you to join us each and every week right here on KTMV with the Lopez family. Special thanks to Don Humberto Lozano Lopez. He passed away this month 5 years ago. He's honored, he's venerated, and he's never forgotten. He was my client, he was my friend, and he was also an inspiration to all of us. And that's why we run this television and radio station so people can have a voice, particularly Latinos in this community who may not have a voice. Bienvenidos a todos mis amigos aquí. Escuchan, ahora vamos a tener información de comprando casas. Today we're going to be talking about how to get a house, perhaps your first house. And with me today I have some very special guests we're excited to bring on. I'd like for them to introduce themselves to the audience. Time Warner, 100,000 subscribing households, 2.5 per household strong. So get your popcorn, your sodas, gather around the TV. We're going to have a good time. If you're in an apartment and you want to buy your dream house, or you don't, but the wives always do, and the girlfriends. So that's what it's all about, the wives and the girlfriends. You know that. Okay, so we're going to get started. Hi, how are you guys?
Just fine. Doing well, thank you.
We'll start with you. Becky, could you tell everybody your full name and where you're from and who you represent? I see you all have the Housing Opportunity Committee. So please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Becky Salinas. I've been a realtor for 14 years in Corpus Christi. I've been a part of the Corpus Christi Housing Committee now for 4 years.
And
Brooke? I'm Brooke LeClaire. I'm also a real estate agent in Corpus. I am chairman of the Housing Opportunity Committee, and we thank you for letting us be here today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I want to give thanks to my good friend Roland Gaona, who is very involved in the community. He's very involved with prevention of kidney disease, diabetes. He's on the ballet board with me. He's everywhere. He's also been very involved with educating Latinos, and I thank him. Special thanks for making this happen. Let's zoom back a little bit. I like to learn a little bit about my guests before we jump into the meat and potatoes here. Starting with you, Becky, what made you get into real estate? I know my little girl loves it. She watches houses. I'd say, well, you ought to be a real estate agent.
A lot of it was just a bad taste when I was purchasing a home and not knowing a lot of what was happening behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. So that pushed me to become a realtor and to purchase my own home.
Yes, and tell me about that, the bad taste.
Just not knowing facts and not knowing the process as well as I do now, of course. And it just confused me. So that made me reach out and just get a little bit of education behind me. And next thing you knew, I was fully licensed and selling.
Brooke, you're here from Corpus, or you moved over as fast as you could?
I got here as fast as I could. I've been here for about 6 years. I'm originally from Denver, Colorado. It's hot here.
Yeah, I was gonna say Denver's so nice too. I mean, I'm not throwing Corpus under the bus. We have the water and everything, but Denver, the skiing and everything. I'm sure it was love or something too. Houses?
Both? Something like that.
It's complicated. Let me put the Facebook. It's complicated. Okay. but okay. So, what made you get into real estate?
I've always had a passion for it. My grandfather was an architect, so I kind of grew up in the industry. When I was 18, I went to sign up for real estate school, and my mom talked me out of it. Said that nobody was going to buy a house for an 18-year-old, so I went the traditional route, and I got a couple degrees under my belt, and it was still always calling my name.
I would buy a house from you. I told my daughter, I support her on that. I said, get your real estate a license, maybe a broker someday after that, aspire to do that, and then do whatever you want.
Becky and I both are working on our broker's licenses right now.
Congratulations. Yeah, because it's so fascinating that, I mean, houses are such a big, integral part of everybody's life, you know.
Very true.
If you're not in a house, you're dreaming of one. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the American dream. You know, it's been injected. But also they could be money pits if you're not careful.
Correct.
And so I'm glad you guys are on here, because the first time home buyers, the people that I target in my, message are, young people that are moving, staying on the west side or moving to the south side or trying to get enough money together. So we're going to get into that in the second part of the show. But just a general thing now. Let's debunk some myths here. And my question to you, Brooke, would be, okay, people say my credit score is not high enough. I don't have what I see on TV where the lady puts up her feet on the desk with the banker and she owns them. I have that score, and I'd never go into a bank and they kick me out. You know? Okay, so even if with a credit score over 800 that I've tried to, you know, you still, if you have your income debt ratio and things like that, which people are like, what does that mean? So tell me about some myths, that the top 3 myths that you would say aren't true for first home buyers.
Most people just don't know where to start, and so they don't even know what their credit score is. And so they think it's bad, but they don't. It may not be as bad as they think. The other thing is that they think because they haven't had any credit cards, no credit can be just as a deterrent, I guess, as bad credit. So it's always good to start with a lender when you're trying to figure out your loan package that's going to work for you. Another myth, I think, a lot of is down payment assistance programs. There's way more out there than what people realize.
So we're going to underline that, and anything you guys leave out, you give to Dave, and you know that lower third we're talking about, as we say in TV land, that's not only your name, number, and how to get a hold of you guys, but we'll also put any information, websites or anything for people to, nowadays everybody, there's no excuse for not getting on the internet. Everybody has one of these, and you know, and Cricket's not as bad as they used to be. I'm going to give them a plug. I know lawyers who switched all to Cricket, you know, and they're not, I'm not even endorsing them. I'm just saying, you know, anybody can afford a phone.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you can get on there. Okay, what are your 3 that you hear a lot, myths, and say, you know, Becky, that you say, that's not necessarily true, where people are just almost, it's almost in our culture a little bit, where we say, well, we'll leave it in the hands of, you know, God, and God's great. We can't do anything without God, but God, like Ben Franklin said, he wants us to help ourselves a little bit. So what do you hear and you have to educate that's not true?
I hear a lot of people who are scared, thinking that 20, 30,000 is what it's going to take to get them into a property. And that is incorrect. There's a lot of down assistance programs that help you get in. There's from city all the way up to state programs. So we do tell everybody that just as long as you've met with a lender, you've created a budget and a plan, you can get a home. You can become a homeowner.
Okay, so what we're going to start delving in slowly, because it's a lot of information to digest in 30 minutes in a program. So let's start with the first step. If somebody came in, let's talk. Now we've talked about you guys. Now your organization. Okay, I see the beautiful. Is it French blue? Because men don't know. I think all fancy saying French blue.
We call it HOC blue.
Yeah, HOC. Now tell us a little bit about the organization and where it's located.
We are a nonprofit organization. We have our own 503 status underneath the Association of Realtors, so we kind of house out of there, but we travel into the community because it is our duty to educate the community on how to buy a house. It's the most expensive decision that people are going to make, and where do you go to learn how to do it? You can't learn it in high school. You can watch TV, but it's not quite reality.
I was going to say Housewives of Orange County, Atlanta, and everything. It puts a lot of pressure on me and every other man in the world, where people think that's how people live, actually, and that's probably the 0.1%. Everybody else is trying to get a house between 100 and 300,000.
Correct.
So what we tried to do is we put together free seminars for the community to come and take place with us, and we cover down payment assistance programs, credit issues, how to get past them, how to work on them, what's the 6 steps to buying a house, how to pick your loan officer, how to pick your realtor. We even switch to the selling side if people are interested in that as well. And so it's all free for the community to come. Our next one is June 18th at the Coastal Compass, that's right.
Now, Roland was telling me about that, June 18th. Okay, so Dave and I are going to try to do our best to get this on by the 10th of June and play it every day.
Great.
It'll be reaching San Pat, it'll be reaching Clayburgh and Jim Wells and Aransas.
Awesome.
So we can get that target audience. What is a website they can hop on if they, do we have a website or a card that I can put up later?
Yes.
Or phone number to call?
Yes.
What's the main
We
phone
have
number to
all of
call?
that.
361-992-6449.
992-6449. Get a pencil pad, or nowadays get out your cell phone, 992-6449. 888-249, and that is the Housing Opportunity Committee, a nonprofit association. I take it you guys take donations from big lenders, from people in the community. They can donate to provide that education, get involved, volunteer time that they maybe do. Other realtors or brokers like yourselves, do they volunteer to help out with this education and outreach?
Yes, and it's an interesting structure because we try to make it very educational and not so vulture-ish as some of us can be as realtors. It's not a lead generation for us. We are truly giving back to our community. So we all have to sign a code of conduct that we are not there to advertise. So we have brokers, lenders, and other affiliates of the association that are on the committee, but it is truly our community service of giving back to the community.
Okay, so June 18th, and the location is going to be, because this is very important,
At Coastal Compass.
Coastal Compass.
Yes.
And where is that located?
In the business center of the Las Palmas shopping.
Okay, so we're going to be at the mall.
Yes.
June 18th, from what time to what time?
It starts at 1.
Starts at 1 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to load this on YouTube also, so you can shoot it out to your phone and share the link. Do y'all have a Facebook page that they can
Yes,
go
sir.
to and like?
Yes, we do.
Which is it? But we'll get.
Housing Opportunity CC, I believe.
Okay, and somebody can find it. We'll get all that information. We're going to put it on Facebook, and we'll get that all on there. Not to worry. And we'll have that on the event on there. That way you can like them, follow them, and then share the link. Dave and I are going to send them a link of this show, and then they can go ahead and shoot it out to everybody as well. That should be ready within a week of this filming. No pressure, Dave. No pressure.
We can email you
Yeah.
the flyer that we have put together too, if that would be
That
helpful.
is going to be very helpful, and we'll have it like reading upwards, like Star Wars. That way people, dun, 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 dun. Okay, we've got 30 seconds left, but I want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, River City Hospice, Hope, Dignity, and Love. It's got to be hospice. And I just went and saw somebody. I can't tell you where, when, how, what their diagnosis was, because we have to respect their privacy. But let me tell you, as a nurse practitioner, I'd like to do that about 10 hours a week because I don't have any more time than that. But I'll go see people, and I want to tell you that River City Hospice, it's not about people getting cancer. It's only 20% of the diagnosis. The rest are Alzheimer's, people that also have heart problems, lung problems, and it doesn't mean you're going to die if you get on hospice. It says if you don't get treatment, you may have 6 months or less to live. That's a criteria. Find out more. There's benefits, and don't leave money on the table like my daddy used to say, you know. He was like the gambler Kenny Rogers, you know. No one to hold him. 882-5900. And also Vasquez Flores Home Health. A lot of people need a job right now, and a lot of people don't want to be in a nursing home. So nursing homes have their place. But when you have somebody in a service, call Ms. Vasquez today, 881-9922, 881-9922. Whether you need a companion, somebody to help you at the house, or whether you need a job and you say you don't have any skills. If you got a heart, you're hired. And you got a clean record and don't do drugs, you're hired. 881-9922. We're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we'll be back with Brooke, and we're going to be back with Becky, and we're going to be talking about buying your first home when we come back.
Have you been arrested or are potentially facing criminal charges? You need a trial attorney who is well versed in the courtroom. Joe Flores has handled hundreds of criminal cases and many of them to trial. Joe Flores can provide you with competent representation to protect your constitutional rights in state and federal court. Joe Flores can help if you have been arrested or facing criminal charges. The law offices of Joe Flores. Equal justice for all. Have you or a loved one suffered a stroke, heart attack, unexplained low blood pressure, or death during dialysis? The FDA has issued warnings and recalled the product Granuflo and Naturalite used in dialysis. At least one national company failed to warn the public that over 900 people had suffered cardiac arrest or death. A condition called metabolic alkalosis developed, which may have caused the harm. Call the law offices of Joe Flores today. With a combined 25 years of experience in the medical field and as a trial lawyer, Joe Flores can help. Call now.
Hi, this is attorney and board certified nurse practitioner Joe Flores on behalf of Vasquez Flores Home Health. Nursing homes have their place, but having care in your own home is very important. Call today for more information. Backed by over 20 years of experience, registered nurse Priscilla Vasquez can answer your questions about home care. Call 881-9922. That's 881-9922 today. And we're back after a brief break. You're watching South Texas Crossfire with Attorney Joe Flores. And we want to thank KTMV Channel 6 and also the radio stations 104.9, 93.5, and others that he has all around Victoria, San Antonio, K Alamo. Isn't that clever? KLMO, get it? And we also have stations that are coming up in Houston, Texas, as well as a television that will be airing. We'll be airing this show and others, and we're going to the Space City. So you'll be seeing me out in Houston, Texas. Bienvenidos a todos mis amigos que hablan nuestro idioma español y bem-vindo mis amigos que falan português também, because Brazilians even see us too over there. So we're back, and we have some very special guests, and they are, of course, for the Housing Opportunity Committee, a nonprofit organization. We've got Becky Salinas, and Brooke, your last name once more.
Leclerc.
Leclerc. I knew it was French. Je parle aussi le français. So we're going to get started again. Now, we left off, just to recap, if you're just joining us, just talking about what the organization does. It helps out people, first-time home buyers, helps them find out about their credit score, and many, many other things. These young and beautiful ladies are very passionate about what they do because they wanted to do this all their life. They're dedicated to it, and it's not about them. It's about you and about getting your first home. So let's start off, Becky, to you. Let's start off this June 18th event that's going to happen at La Palmera. That's going to be also on your Facebook and on our lower third. Tell the audience about what exactly is going to happen and how it's going to flow.
It is a workshop. We give a lot of education about the process of how to buy a home, the steps. We talk about down payment assistant programs along with credit. So we're there just to answer any questions along with showing them the first steps of how to get started.
And, I know what they're thinking. Why should I go with, we're barely making it paycheck to paycheck. There's no way we can put down even $5,000, much less $30,000 on a home. Our credit scores based on a past divorce, whatever, my credit score is 518. My other credit score is 492. So they say, why should we even show up?
Well, we have credit counselors there on hand, and along with us, we are all educated, and we have a process that we can send you through, and we have resources. So we provide all that information to start helping you build your credit or to start helping you clean your credit. So we're there to help you along the way and to provide you all the resources you need to get you where you need to be.
And
People, are you listening to this? Because Brooke's going to follow up on this, but credit, fixing your credit. Listen to me. Fixing your credit. Go right ahead.
the other thing is that between the city, state, and national level, there's over 33 down payment assistance programs. Most people are not aware of that, and so you don't need the big chunk of money up front. You may be able to qualify, and so we have loan officers and real estate agents that are up to speed on all of those programs and see if they could help qualify for those.
And you also mentioned grants that people just don't know about, and all of that is there waiting.
Yep.
America, what are you waiting for? It's you won't get this with the state of ISIS, that's for sure. First-time hut buyers, no. And in this great land of ours, you can still have a home and afford it. So I'm excited. So one of the main benefits I'm hearing right now from this is learning about your credit, finding out. Now, there's no guarantee that people can make an overnight 800 credit. It took me a long time to get a good credit deal. But one of the things you mentioned, even if you don't have credit cards and things, which I don't recommend that. If you have one, put it in a box and don't use it, but just pay it off every month. But also you can, with a lender, you can start building credit. I had one old boy who loaned out $500 from a banker, and he said, now he gave him back the check. He goes, put it in your drawer. And then he came and paid it back. And he said, that's how I started my credit. And then I had one credit reference, and that's old school. But, what are some quick ways to raise your credit, whether you're sitting here at home or going to what if you can't make it June 18th? What are some quick ways that you've seen, both of you have seen, to get credit scores raised?
Keeping your balance below a third. So if you have a credit card with a $300 limit, to keeping that balance below $100 monthly and paying it on time. Also, secured lines of credit with the bank. You go deposit $200, only use 70, $50, $75 of that line of credit, because that also helps you stabilize your credit, because it's secure, but it does report on your credit.
I'm taking notes over here. I think the lawyers are too. Lawyers don't know it all. They just try to pretend they do. And so keep it under a third. That's a good rule of thumb.
Yes.
Brooke, anything to add on that? I mean, what's a big thing that you like to see on people, to just quick ways to help their credit?
Pay all your bills on time. All of them. Cell phones, rent, all of them. Sometimes people... It's not the end of the world. And that was one thing that you had touched on before. Some people get discouraged because they've been through a divorce and their credit isn't as good. We're like a dream team of cheerleaders. We're going to give you a plan, and we're going to encourage you, and we keep up with you to make sure that you're still on track. And if we fall off a little bit, we pull you back over. It's important that somebody be encouraging in such a process like this, because it is very intimidating.
Now, I don't know much, but, as a lawyer, I and this is not legal advice, but I'm just going to tell you as a general rule, if you can't pay your bills on time, it's important to reach out to that lender or creditor and tell them why you're going to be late. Send them a letter, document it, because, and I'm not just picking on my culture. I'm, as a Hispanic, I'm picking on everybody, because we're belly up in this country with a lot of credit debt. So working it out and reaching out to your lender, even American Express, sometimes I carry real heavy debt and say, I need another 5 days to breathe. No problem. You've been with us 18 years. And, that kind of thing makes a difference. If you ignore it, and you ignore your bills, those pink bills in the mail, that's why they make them pink. So catch you. But okay, so that's one thing you're going to cover, credit. What's another topic at this very exciting seminar, June 18th at La Palmera?
The down payment assistance programs that are available, we go over. We have what's called a DPR system that is integrated with our Coastal Bend MLS, and that alone tells you a basis of how many programs are available to you based on your information that you input, and with also if the house is eligible.
Now that process, to you, Brooke, the process of signing a house, I've done it 3 times, and signing, it's like a Houston phone book. There's nothing you can do about it. Some lenders are nicer than others, so take advantage of these lovely ladies, because I've dealt with some lenders that are hardcore. And a lot of people say from the housings lately that it's become more corporate in a way. It's become less personal. Some people will go to Lending Tree and stuff like that, and they'll get on, and people that are loaning them are out in Arizona, out in Phoenix or somewhere, and they're pretty abrasive. And people don't foresee that they're kind of, with a microscope, they're doing the wallet biopsy, as I like to call it in the healthcare field, looking at what people have. How does your program differ from some of these and I'm not picking on Lending Tree, I'm just saying some of the loan, because of the new regs and banking regs, it's become very stiff. The credit is tough to go by.
One thing that our committee tries to not push but encourage is using local lenders. And the reason for that, a big one is Texas windstorm. I've dealt with outside lenders that don't understand our Texas windstorm insurance, and it'll throw your monthly payment off by a lot. So it's very important to use people that understand what our environment looks like, what our market is, and all the insurances that go along with being in a coastal area.
Now, another question that may come up when people are watching this is, if I've already bought a house or two, can I still take advantage of the opportunities that you all have to offer?
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Oh, yes.
It's just not first home buyers.
No.
No, and we even touch on some selling processes in case anybody is interested in that, how to get your house ready. We're hoping to reach into also maintenance on homes. It's a continuous thing that has to happen, and most people don't budget for that.
Tell me about it. Money pits. But it's nice. Some people are living in apartments, and there's always that upstairs neighbor. It always sounds like they have a circus up there with elephants and little people. We don't call them midgets anymore, but sorry. So people are like, what's going on up there? And you get your broom, But then people buy a house, and they don't anticipate all of the problems that can happen, home insurance and all these other things to protect. Okay, we've talked about the credit. We've talked about the programs out there. What else are we going to touch on in this very important seminar going on June 18th at La Palmera?
We also do another segment on the understanding the loan process. There are many, many different loan packages. A loan package for you would be totally different than a loan package for Becky and myself. And so we go through and explain what's expected for you to turn in as far as paperwork.
Yes.
Kind of the process of how everything gets calculated out, of how much you're going to qualify for. And we kind of walk everybody through that process, do's and don'ts, like don't go buy a car after you get pre-qualified, things like that.
Correct.
So that's another big topic that most people don't understand how mortgages work, and so we want to make sure that they're educated on that.
Well, and I'm sharing this on Facebook right now too, because we have the road to becoming a home buyer. Mr. Gaona just sent this to me, and I'm going to put this down, and then I've just posted it there. So we want to share this information with you because we want everybody to have an equal opportunity out there to be able to buy and to do their work with Stewart Title. And give a big plug there, and we'll have a special guest that is associated with that. But also one of the other things that I want to touch on is when they go over there, are they going to be able to meet with you all?
Yes.
Okay, and who else is going to be there?
Well, we're a whole team of about 14 of us, and we are affiliated of realtors, lenders, title companies are affiliated with us, and even termite companies. So we are all there to help answer questions and to guide them along the way and to give them resources they may not have.
And y'all have had this before, right?
Correct. We have these now quarterly, and we do have one housing fair a year, and this year will be coming up in November.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, start tracking these people on Facebook. Google them. This is there for you. For first-time home buyers, ladies and gentlemen out there, newlyweds, people that are thinking about getting wed, or just people that are tired of living in apartments and wanna have their own home, because it's very important. The other thing was people. I've seen how families ripped apart because of a house. Do y'all talk about anything about how to ensure that the communication of how a house is conveyed? Is there anything on there? Has anybody ever come to you and say, I've got a house, I want to sell it, or maybe I want to give it to my children? Do you resource that to probate lawyers, to people out there? Will there be any sort of legal representation there? I know there are good lawyers like Jussier Heil and some other people that I've dealt with that do real estate. Will there be any attorneys out there in case they have any legal questions?
Honestly, that has not come up in any of our sessions, but it's a point that I'm definitely going to take a note of because I think it is important.
Yeah, I just wonder because with a house, sometimes you have a family going in on a house together because they can't afford just one person. And so the other thing that may come up, fortunately, the divorce rate is 50% almost. So people may come up to you and ask, or do you get questions like that? Like, I do have a house, but my ex got in charge of the house, failed to do the payments. Now my credit is bad.
We do touch that base on that, on the understanding credit portion of ours. Since it is a community property state, it is important they understand what happens during a divorce and after a divorce, and encourage them that it's not the end of the world if something like that did happen. You can fix it.
And we do have credit counseling, HUD-approved credit counselors that do assist with that as well. And we have their name and information that we do provide at all of our sessions in the housing fair. They're actually there in person to discuss any issues.
Dave and I have telepathy, so he's telling me there's about 2 minutes left. We've been doing this a long time. So the floor is you all's. Brooke, if you have 2 minutes, you've got the floor. 2 of those minutes, one is yours. What would you like to tell the people out there about this fair and why they should go? And if they can't make that one, the big show in the fall.
I just think it's very important that everybody has a strong education when they're making the biggest decision of their life. I feel like we have a great team that offers great community service to give back. And it's very, very important to understand what you're getting into, that you're signing off for 30 years too. That's important. If they can't make it, you can always reach out to us. We can always counsel one-on-one. They can also come to the fall event. And that event, we have about 20 vendors that are nonprofit that we hand pick. and put in places if they need better education, if they need better paying jobs, if down payment assistant programs, veteran services. So we have all of those available for a one-stop shop, and it's all free.
Well, thank you for being here, Becky.
you.
And any final words?
It is the American dream to purchase a home, and we're just here to provide any resources that we have and to answer any questions for anybody. So no question is a dumb question. Every question we answer. If we don't have the answer, we will get the answer for them.
And
so please come out and join us.
And the kids, I just got that image. So kids too, you're more than welcome. You want to become a real estate agent, broker, or learn more about it. It's an exciting career, huh?
It
You
is.
guys wouldn't be doing it. But there's never a dull moment. It's a lot of work.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
So those of you that are interested in watching those flip those houses shows and all that stuff, like my daughter, she's all into real estate. So get involved in the process. We'll get all your information. But again, the number, if they want to pick it up, they're just walking around the house, they're just listening to my voice. I have a voice that puts people to sleep, so I got to be real careful. What's the number to call?
361-992-6449.
992-6449 is the magic number, and that is with the Housing Opportunity Committee, and it's a nonprofit organization there for you people. 992-6449. There we go. And we're out of time. Want to thank you all for coming on in.
Thank you, Joe.
All right.
Appreciate
I
it.
appreciate
so much. I really appreciate
And
it.
special thanks again to my good friend Roland Gaona for putting us together in one room, making this happen. June 18th, La Palmera. Don't miss it. And if you have to miss it, get involved with them. Call them up at that magic number, 992-6449. And also follow them on Facebook. That's the Housing Opportunity Committee, nonprofit there for you people. So we're out of time. Thank you. God bless you.